Welcome to the Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors podcast, your home for the latest products and news in the shooting sports, hunting, and the great outdoors. And now, here are your hosts, Jake Coffin and Jason Westmoreland.
Hey everybody, it is Jake and Jason here from Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors.
With some new faces, something different. We're having fun.
We got DRT with us today.
Dead right there.
Guys, why don't y'all introduce yourself? Let the people know who you are and what you do.
Name's Talon Dupchop. Do guided thermal hunts and a bunch of hog trapping around Walker County, Grimes County, and Madison County.
Just Dupchop, same thing.
Yeah.
So this isn't a deposition for trial, guys. It's okay. You get excited.
I'm guessing father and son.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of those old 80s dating videos, right? Hi, I'm real into long walks on the beach. You see, these guys are not just pig trappers, pig eradication team. They are some of the best in the state, the country. I mean, y'all are out there winning.
Y'all actually, these are the winners of St. Patrick's Day this year.
I wouldn't
2
go as
years in
far
a
as-
row, right?
Yeah. Y'all.
No.
Y'all
Just
placing
last
though.
year.
Yeah.
Last year we didn't place at all. No, sir.
Really?
What?
Well, this
We
year
came
you
up
go.
close on the cutters.
Oh,
Came
gotcha.
close on the
There you
cutters.
go. There you go.
I don't know that I'd say best in the state, but I'm saying we're pretty good at it.
Yeah,
How's that
yeah.
sound?
Well, we've seen what you do. So, well, guys, if y'all are listening, before we get too far into the show, thank y'all so much. We appreciate it. Obviously, y'all keep liking and sharing it because people keep listening and texting and shooting us emails and everything, talking about it. So we appreciate it.
It helps us with the ideas because after a little while, we try to be creative.
We do. So a lot of people said they wanted to talk to the winners of St. Patrick's Day, or they wanted to know more about pig hunting from like some of the
masters.
elite. So we got the elite in here. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call y'all.
Worst things to be called.
Yeah, right. And anyways, and so if you get a chance, if you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and do it. Share it with your friends, and then there's also a little donation button you can click there. You buy a spear if you want to do that. We don't ever mind that.
Never.
But all right, that being said, let's hop right into it. So I'm guessing you probably started pig hunting a minute ago.
That's right. It's been an evolving deal, you know. Back in the day, I hunted with a guy who had night vision. And I borrowed his. Then he got a thermal, and I borrowed his. Then I had to have my own. Then he
It's a
got
slippery
Vage.
slope quick,
It is.
ain't it?
Yeah, you could slide right into that one.
Expensive hobby.
Yeah. Then he started going, so I had to get him one. Then friends started coming, and next thing you know, you're running a half a dozen thermals and vehicles, and then you start trapping. And long story short, you don't have enough traps, so you get more traps, and one thing leads to another, and then you're just like, hey, let's make a go of this. You know, let's see what we can do. Let's share some knowledge and share some time in the woods with some good friends, and just have a good time. And that's where we're at now. Most of the time when we go, I don't even carry a gun anymore. Just clients and him or
Oh, I get
friends.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah. How many nights a week are y'all going out right now?
3. We could go more. Actually, we go more. A lot of it is just sort of scouting for people like that are coming, so we know where we need to go.
Right.
It's a balancing act when you're trapping for people too. You can't necessarily trap all the hogs that people want to shoot. Mm-hmm. So it's a balancing act,
So that's got to be the hard part, right? Because for me, kind of like we talked in the past, all hunts become coyote hunts the moment one shows up. It'd be hard pressed, and I know you're out there guiding as well, and you're trapping for landowners and helping them out. But to see a good sounder pigs or a good maybe a 250, a big one out there, and go, okay, we're going to leave you alone because I don't know if I don't think I have that self control.
Monday night did not have the self-control. It happened.
Oh, did you? What happened Monday night?
Took out a boogie. We were up in Madisonville, and we got up there, and within the first 200 yards of driving, saw about 2 coyotes. But they were far, smelt us, wind was wrong, everything. Then we pushed up a little ways on top of the hill, and had to have a trap out there with the big boar coming in lately. But we wanted to shoot him because just one, so we ended up seeing it. And then Boogie, John, and I took a stalk across, and it was just, he didn't have a chance. All 3 of us shot at the same time, and it triple tapped and fell over immediately.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that is I stood back and filmed the whole thing. And
Oh, cool.
same time they're stalking this hog, there's 3 coyotes over here messing with the cattle. So it's like, what do you do? So, of course, the hog lost the draw, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't have a chance. I asked Boogie, I said, Boogie, you want to go for coyotes or the hog? He said, oh, yeah, we're taking the hog. I said, all right, we'll walk over and shoot it. And I saw another 7 or 8 coyotes after that.
Wow.
They were everywhere.
That's a good night.
Yeah,
Maybe you don't see that many coyotes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he didn't say he killed them all.
No, he's well, I mean, there's some around it. Like when I go out, if I see 4 or 5, you know, I'm unless they're really packed up, but there's some places around here. Jeff Paskett showed me videos of like where he hunts. And there's like 20 coyotes running together, like big pack. And I've never seen that in the wild. Y'all see that? Are y'all seeing?
Seen that one time, and there was 11 or 12 of them.
Yeah.
And they were all spread out across probably 150-yard span or so on a creek bottom.
Yeah.
But
Most of us
they
don't
would
think of
go through.
coyotes running like that, but
The other night, the most we saw in a group was 3.
Yeah, that's about
Two
where I'm
groups
at.
of
Yeah.
3,
3,
a group
4.
of 2, and then a couple single ones. And that was it.
So the bigger groups we see usually calving season.
yeah.
I can see that.
And y'all thermal hunt as well, so you see hogs with cows all the time. During calving season, the coyote, they just kind of swap places. You know?
Yeah.
So
I even would go so far to say over the last 20 years when hogs have just really, I mean, they've always been here, but now they're just around every corner. I think it's changed the tactics that the coyotes are using. I think they're running a little, I mean, I've seen it myself. I've seen them, you know, the strategy they use when there's 5 or 6 of them. It's impressive, but they're mastering it. And that's one reason a lot of times coyote get a free pass, because I know they're out there killing pigs too. But if they're around a calf, they're going down.
I know that through our old deer lease, we had 7,000 acres.
Oof.
And in
So a
less
small
than
place.
Yeah.
Just
That's it.
that
We need
little,
bigger
that
places.
little thing.
And in less than 2 years, we killed 1,800 hogs. And in the process, it started to get to a point to where we would shoot hogs, in the middle of loading them up, a coyote would run out. Like they just knew what it meant when they heard gunshots.
Yeah.
And they just started getting smart like that. And after St. Patrick's Day, we put cameras on all those hogs. And I think at one time there was probably 4 coyotes in a single picture, but they were there. Those hogs did not leave or die or whatever for about 2.5
Oh,
months.
the coyotes. What do you do with, what is it, 185?
142.
142, 142 dead pigs.
Went and threw them in one big pile. and
Did you put them in one
a camera
pile?
on.
I didn't know if you were going to put them at different spots. And
Kind of hunt over 'em,
yeah,
use them as bait.
no, there's a good draw on the where we dumped them out, and like you said, we put cameras on them, just kind of watch and see what's happening, and you'd be amazed at the animals. Everything with the exception of cows came through there. Hogs came through there. Got some pictures of some eagles.
Oh, yeah.
A golden eagle, which I didn't even know that we had any around here. Then you show somebody, and they're like, oh yeah, they're all over the place. Coyotes, coons, but nearly every animal under the sun came through those.
any cats?
You know, I've actually never seen one of those. He saw one night, but
Well, shot that one.
no, well, you're talking big cat, right?
Oh, a bobcat or a cougar. Yeah,
Because you don't really think of a cat being a carrion eater.
no.
No, none that I saw on camera. But then the flood washed the cameras away. Anyway.
Yeah, if you got the whole smorgasbord lined up, though, I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
When you're hungry, you're hungry.
Yeah, God dang, man.
So one thing worth mentioning, I hate to cut you off.
No,
is
go for it.
What he said, killed almost 2,000 hogs. That next year, the deer came back. The deer got comfortable enough to come back, and
Yeah.
there was more quality bucks killed off of that place than there's ever been in a single year, and it has to do because there was no hogs.
Yeah,
I've seen that a lot in some of the places that I've hunted. That, you know, in Texas, for those listening out of state, a lot of times we hunt over corn feeders, right? We're allowed to bait for white-tailed deer in Texas, and that feeder will go off. And heck, I've seen it here in the Brazos Valley. That feeder will go off. You get your does, your young deer, they'll come out. But the moment a boar, a sounder shows up, they will absolutely run them off. They will push that out, and the deer will quickly realize, hey, kind of like not welcome here. And I think that's the way it kind of comes across, at least in my opinion, is that if I can't come here regularly for food, I'm gonna go find a place that I can. So that makes absolutely.
yeah, and then knowing the pigs pattern it and figure out the food is there.
They're gonna be there.
If pigs are there first, they're going to get all the food.
We went from seeing maybe 5 deer a night, and after those hogs got killed, we'd see 30 to 50 deer a night.
Wow.
In the
They had them pushed away that hard.
Yes,
Yeah. That's one good reason to get rid of them. One of many, many.
Yeah, no doubt. And that and hayfields.
Man.
Hayfields just
So-
get wrecked.
I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but that is That is why we got out of the cattle business. Just where our place was is on the kind of the corner of a creek and the Brazos River. So unless you stayed there 24/7 or had traps out all the time, you couldn't stop them. They wound up taking it over. And still a fun place to go out and hunt, but man, it's just hard to run cattle. Can't hardly run a disc over it anymore.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think people underestimate how smart hogs are.
I guarantee that.
Yeah.
Here lately, we've been trapping in subdivisions, and neighborhood hogs are some of the smartest hogs
Really?
I've ever messed with in my life.
What do you think makes a city hog smarter than a country hog? They got that. They got that street smarts.
Depends on the neighborhood. Depends on the neighborhood.
Are they really that much smarter? They just use bigger words.
But they're
They're
just
them educated pigs.
yeah, they're just wily. They're more cautious for sure.
Do you think that's just because they're? See, I would figure it'd be the opposite. You know, that comfortability with cars and vehicles and noise and people and that type of deal.
Well, I think by the time that a fella gets there with a trap that knows what he's doing, he's been handling the neighborhood end of the deal. They by then I think people have exhausted their options. They've tried barricades to keep the hogs out of this or that, and I think when it gets all put together, the hog sees a trap and we can show you pictures or video. They'll stand there and they'll look at it. Next night they'll come, and it takes about a week to get them comfortable enough to really come in and out of there. And then after that, you got to figure out how many sounders are there, and then it's just a progressive deal. But they're getting smart, and there's nothing smarter than a hog that's been trapped before.
Oh yeah,
they're tough to catch again.
maybe you know, I hunted a place here in the county that the fellow that ran it, just kind of tongue in cheek, you just talk about this was his great social experiment because we could shoot deer off of it, but we weren't allowed to put feeders up and we were not allowed to put stands up. So we were basically just kind of a big piece of property that we could drive it around. But he said, I wonder if we're making the deer smarter because the dumb ones died, right? You know, you drive around, if you were dumb enough to stand 100, 150 yards from a pickup truck, you got shot. And I think it got to where it was harder and harder and harder. Same with the pigs, that they would start associating vehicle noise or people with it. I mean, 1,000, 1,500 yards, they'd see a vehicle, gone. And I wonder if it's the same way with the pigs there. We're just killing the dumb ones. We're creating super smart pigs.
I would agree with that because the amount of farmers
See,
who say...
you laugh at me.
No, I like it.
Well, no, I would somewhat agree with it because I know that farmers can go drive a tractor in a hayfield and the hogs will sit out there and be used to it because they see it all the time and they've never been shot at by it. Yeah. So, I mean, I can see that 100%.
I wasn't laughing at you. I just got the image in my head of Homer Simpson. Instead of Spider Pig, it was Super Pig. He's just like crawling on the roof.
Instead of, he's going to do math formulas,
Yes.
you know. Got a game plan. I see that. So, y'all, let's talk about kind of what y'all are using and kind of some of the
so there's
the
so many
tactics
people
aspect.
that have been reaching out to us, and they don't know anything about hog hunting other than what they're watching on YouTube or anything else. They might want to get into it. They might want to go out with you guys. They're just complete beginners. But we got guys out there too that are into it, and they might want to get to your level.
That's kind of what I was hoping we would get into in this podcast is kind of that not necessarily. I mean, we talk forever, right? But for some of y'all's been there, done that experience, some tips, tricks, ideas, what y'all are using for kind of guys getting into it, and then maybe there's something y'all are running. I don't want to necessarily give away y'all's secrets because y'all are winning from it, but maybe there's some things that people don't, some outside the box stuff that kind of give a guy that maybe they got some really trap wise hogs, or maybe they're getting skunked more often than not. They don't want to. Because this is kind of place that I have over in Brazos County that I think they've gotten used to my tactics, and I've thrown everything I can in the book at them. I got them on camera. I know they're there, but I go out there, sit a week all day, and I never see one. So, let's talk about
And go.
Yeah.
So
Let's talk about the equipment when y'all are going out, whether it's for the guide to compete or y'all are contracted out. Like what's
Because we know it's evolved. Y'all said you started with the night vision, move into thermal, and now it's like 10 thermals. Like
So started with the Trigicons, then got a couple Envisions, then we got the couple iRays from y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And my personal favorite is the iRay out of all of them.
I was going to ask if you use a different one for different purposes. You know,
No, not really.
Okay.
I just like the IRA the best. To me, is the best quality, best thermal I've used. But it started off with 5.56s and 7.62s for the bigger thumb, bigger bullet, and then went to the Ruger SFAR 6.5. And those people get aggravated. They say SFAR.
Or if Tabor's listening, it's SFAR.
yeah, that's for you, Tabor.
And we got the IRA Minion, the dome,
Yes.
dome with a 360 that mounts on top of the vehicle. Just sit inside the AC, especially this time of year. With the remote staring at a screen, spinning in circles, can zoom in, do rangefinder.
I want one of those so bad.
I saw one the other day. I'm sorry to interrupt, but back from when I was doing the warden thing, I still got some friends that are Oklahoma wardens, and he shares stuff all the time from the Oklahoma Parks and Wildlife page. And they got a set of road hunters, and they had one of them some bitches up on top, and they were just cruising up and down the roads.
So we've done that, but it was totally legal.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
on a private road. It's different.
So
It's totally legal.
Yeah.
no, it was.
But yeah, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, technology's come a long ways. You're right. I mean,
I never thought about that. Just cruising up and down.
It was just a dirt road,
Yeah.
and either side had fences. And we had permission to hunt both sides, and we just drove down. Every time we saw something, we just go off to the pasture and drive over and shoot it.
Wow.
So we've been down to Gatesville with a friend of mine hunting, and it's big land, big property, and daylight to dark thing. And this was before we had Minion. We had the old FLIR.
Yeah.
Same thing. Well, we've got a night vision vehicle where you can kill the lights, turn on the hour, and just run highways, and you can do 20,000 acres a night. But over there, when the properties line up right, that's what you do, and you just go down the road and you just wear them out. And there's a lot of good fun in that, but I mean, you've got to have the right equipment to do it. I mean, this isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what y'all are talking about, like the Minions and stuff like that, those aren't cheap.
No, it's I like to say it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. How's that sound?
That's well said. I think I've told my wife the same thing.
But the like you said, like clients usually will give an option to run 5.56s because we have them tricked out, or the 7.62s.
and that's 7.62 by 39.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we kind of let them see what we're doing, you know, how far we're going to be shooting, and kind of go through that and then let them decide. We never really messed with AR-10s because they're just so heavy.
They are,
Sometimes you may walk a country mile.
Oh yeah.
But once that SFAR came out on that AR-15 platform, totally went that way right out of the gate. I think we got one from y'all. It ran it less than a week, come back and got another one. I mean,
Yeah, they're game changers.
Oh, yeah.
man, no doubt about it. And it'll shoot the soda out of a biscuit.
I like it, man.
So, while we're on that topic, for really anybody in any level of experience, 308 the way to go is as far as being able to put that, just knock them down. Because I mean, you hear that all the time. Is I shot this pig 5 times, and I get a lot of his shot placement. But if you had to choose a caliber for pigs, are y'all going 308?
6.5 personally.
Grindle or Creedmoor?
Creedmoor.
Creedmoor?
6.5 Creedmoor.
Yes.
We've dropped hogs at almost 500 yards with it.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's no doubt. And then it's a whole different ballgame. It's optics. But I think that first rattle out of the gate, first couple of shots, hogs aren't really in let's get out of here mode.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get by with 5.56, and at the end of the day, it's what you're comfortable with. My thought is you're not really tracking hogs at night. So do you need to blow a big hole through them? That's debatable.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to die, and you're going to find them.
Yeah.
If you don't find them, then I mean,
Buzzards will.
that's right. That's right.
So, touching back on your Creedmoor choice there, there's a ton of controversy about that round out there. You know, there's a lot of negativity. I personally am a huge fan of the Creedmoor. I've killed all sorts of animals with it, from big to small and everything in between. Are y'all running a specific bullet as one you like better?
That's where I was about to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Hornady Black, the 143 grain.
The SST bullet?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I got you. So, and I think, and obviously y'all figured this out. Well, a lot of people, when they come to the Creedmoor round, they're not putting the time and effort into figuring out bullet design or bullet style and how it performs.
And not doing their homework on, if they know they're going to be 100 yards and in.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need something that's not going to open up. You need something super soft that's going to put that energy on target.
And this is kind of the same thing I tell a lot of folks, and y'all are right on point with it, is that when you're hunting through thermal, it's a digital optic, right? There's no depth of field. It's not like a traditional day scope. And I don't like a round, especially when I'm hunting at night, that I have to start guessing holdovers. I want something that's pretty flat from 50 to about 300 yards because, you know, I'm guessing y'all have the same idea. Y'all got them set up on tripods so you're good and steady. That as they start running, I don't want to have to go, okay, well, they're about 250. I need to hold about so many. No, I want to just put it about top of the shoulder, and it's going to work.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, yeah, like you said, it's as flat shooting as it can get.
So I fell in love with that round. We run bolt guns. That's what I deer hunting with as well. And shooting far, I just, you know, I'm saying far 500 or less. You know, once you get
And
over
at night, that's out there.
That's a whole different bolt. Oh, the 500-yard shot at night. I mean, do you kill it? Yes. Were you aiming at it? Yes. Could you do it every time? I don't know. but 0 to
But when
300,
the stars align, it looks cool on thermal.
That's right. But fell in love with it just as a bolt gun. Mm-hmm. And so I'd already done a lot of research and recon, both of us had on them. And then once, like I said, we ran into that Ruger, for us, it was a no-brainer. But I know people that swear by 300 blackouts. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
I got one when it was the craze, personally, didn't care for it. So I think it's to each their own and what they're comfortable with running with.
More your style than necessarily one tool for all.
That's correct. That's the way I look at it.
And the tool part of it, you know, I use a 300 blackout occasionally, but it's when I hunt right, like you said, subdivisions. And, you know, I've got a privacy fence on one side of me with Fido yipping at me and somebody barbecuing in the backyard. They don't realize that there's a sounder pigs right on the other side. And I go in and I'm trying to be super quiet. I'm able to get right up on them and just, you know, do my thing. And then everybody starts peeking over the fence. What's that noise? I'm hearing the pig squeal.
What noise?
What noise? It ain't me, it's a pig. Yeah.
And then, so if we kind of get an idea about the rifle, what are y'all looking for thermal wise? I mean, it sounds like you've kind of tasted and tried just about everything. Is there something, a style, like if someone was coming from a recommendation for y'all in y'all's experience, what are the key points you're looking for out of a thermal, if anything?
And I would say something that could definitely see out there a good ways, whether it be 500 yards, no matter what you're hunting. You want something that's obviously clear.
Not pixelated. Yeah.
Are y'all running, you like more the compact style that's kind of based for the AR, or are y'all running any of the newer kind of design that kind of look like regular rifle scopes?
No, none of those. The Rico series is what they're called.
Yeah.
The iRay Rico series. I don't know, like you said, I guess it would be called the Combat, is what you said?
Yeah, a little more compact.
Compact.
The little blockier looking style.
Those are the ones. Those are the type of thermals we run. We don't run any of them that are an actual scope.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And probably something that's got good battery life. Those
oh my God,
those bigger
those are
ones
great.
have a lot
But
better.
a lot of it is, the bigger it is, the more stuff it can hang on, bang against. It's not sighted in anymore. It's just too much.
Weight's a big deal. So the most combat one is run some Reaps, some Triticons. First ones we got, great. No issues with them. I don't think they're in the wrong hands. They can be a nightmare because it's a toggle. It's
that
not
joystick.
Right.
it's a joystick. So actually, one of them when people come, I actually give them one to spot with. Then move to Envision. Some of them are bigger, bulkier. Excuse me. But the iRays, as far as that's just where it's at. It's all user friendly. All you got to remember is which button you're turning on, which button you're recording with, and now the newer Ricos, they've got the automatic backup and record feature.
Yeah.
The record.
Activated record.
That's right. Run all those thermals. Though there's a couple I haven't run. I've shot behind an AGM that's in the. My cousin actually bought one from y'all when he was down here from Wyoming. He loves it still. I've run behind it. It runs well. Haven't messed with. Only thing Pulsar I have is some binoculars. So I don't have any of the Pulsar scopes. When I think thermal, I think thermal. I don't think scope.
Yeah.
So.
Are y'all running night vision too still?
It's on the helmet sometimes if we're driving
Blacked
in the
out.
truck,
Yeah.
through the truck, see through the glass. But other than that, it's basically just the thermal helmet.
Well, I didn't know if are y'all just trapping in the neighborhood? Y'all actually hunting in some of the neighborhoods?
Most of them is just traps. Like, for example, I have a trap on a guy's property. He has 5 acres, and he has an old garden with mushroom soil, and they have torn it up.
Really?
And I put the trap out on Monday, and 8 hours later, the herd was in there.
Oh, wow.
I haven't dropped it yet. I always like to wait at least 2 nights, make sure there's not 2 herds coming at different times. I want to be sure to get the biggest herd, and I'll end up dropping it tonight for sure. But, yeah, he has 5 acres, 6 acres, probably 2 miles off the main highway, and they're just wearing out his stuff.
I got you.
So Madisonville's got a little neighborhood there. We don't trap like in house neighborhoods yet. It's more like acreage communities, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
4 or 5 acres up.
I know a couple of those out in Madisonville area. Yeah.
And that's where these are, and it's a horse development, if you would, there. And horses they don't play well with hogs either usually. So got the first ones out of there in a couple of weeks. And they called back and says, "Hey, I thought you forgot some hogs over here." No, we didn't forget any hogs. Well, there's another herd showed up. So we go back and get it. But something worth saying, back to the tricky hogs you were mentioned earlier. That first night, not all the hogs would come in that Monday night. Last night was the first time that whole entire sounder came in to that trap over there in that neighborhood he's talking about. And that second hog, or the third sow of that group, she stood outside for over half hour before she would come in. She would pace the trap, and sometimes as far as tricks go, it's just patient. If you have a big boar or you have a bunch of little ones, depending on the way you look at it, the little ones are usually the uneducated hogs that we discussed earlier. They're going to run in there. And the boar, if there's a boar running with a herd, which right now a lot of them are splitting off, and there's solo boars out that you're killing a lot of, the mama or the boar's going to hang outside the trap. So if you can't catch them all, and you have one big boar out there, if you get there around daylight, he's going to be close to the trap. I can't tell you how many times we've gotten tired of waiting on these hogs, just drop the trap and show up the next morning and right there before daylight, right at daybreak, and have a thermal in one hand and a regular gun in the other. And that's where the whole Creedmoor thing, that's why I like the Creedmoor, because if you're out in the middle of a pasture somewhere and there's a wise hog, and they're usually the big boars, you may not be able to get closer than 300 without him blowing it out on you. Then you just lay it on him.
And for those of you listeners who don't know or aren't familiar with it, what they're talking about, a drop trap. So it is a trap where they set it off by remote from wherever they may be. They're waiting. They could be at the house or whatever. And then they'll have basically a live camera. They're looking on their phone, and they know exactly when to drop it and when the most pigs are in there and when time is right. So I imagine y'all spend a lot of time sitting there staring at your phone.
And you can spin in circles. If deer or cows are next to the trap, you just yell at them and they'll run off. And
it's got audio out. Oh, that's funny.
Microphone. It even has an audio in too. I can turn it on, and man, when you drop that guillotine gate, you'll hear.
You ever talk to them after you get them? Like, gotcha.
I have before, and they started banging off the trap so hard that the camera froze, and I got scared and never did it again.
So let's talk about trapping.
Yeah.
I mean, did y'all just start with the remote, or do y'all only run the remote activated ones, or y'all still using the old square traps or the old, the cattle panel traps, the figure 6s and stuff?
Only the guillotine traps. It's basically 10 8-foot panels, and then the drop gate, aka the guillotine.
Yep.
And they're 6 foot tall, 8 foot long, and just put them in a circle with some rings on each of them, and just stick fence posts or T-posts in them to hold them together. It's pretty simple. It takes probably 20 minutes to set up.
So it just got a single guillotine style gate?
Yes, sir.
That comes through? Because I've seen some that the whole trap's up, suspended, and it falls on them.
Yeah. Those are nice. Yeah, those are nice. The only problem with those is if you have a big herd and they're unhappy, they'll drag it around the pasture.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of funny, though.
It is. Except
unless you want to keep them. Yeah.
Plus, they're heavy, and when it's 100 degrees, nobody wants to crank that handle every time.
So Jake and I had talked before on one of these episodes about our stank bait, our special baits. Is there anything? I mean, y'all doing it so much. Are y'all making your own bait, or do y'all just have a generic thing y'all are going out?
Used to use the pig out, but that thing's $15, and it's just juice.
Yeah.
Lately, you can just use any sweet powder, Kool-Aid, Hawaiian Punch,
Jello,
Big Red, anything.
That was always mine. Especially when for a little while there, I was trying to make some side money trapping, and I was poor. I needed the money, and realized that was harder than it sounded. It sounded so easy, but it's work. But I came up with one. I take, I've said this before, 5-gallon bucket. I fill it full of corn, go down to the gas station, whatever malt liquor was on sale that day. I'd buy a whole bunch of it, pour that into the top, and I'd pour a whole bunch of strawberry or raspberry, some berry jello, and I have a paint mixer, stick it in there and spin it all around, and I just leave it out in the sun. I had multiple buckets of it, let it ferment a little bit, and then go pour that out there. That was by far the best thing I ever created.
We had a customer in yesterday who was talking about us, talking about that exact thing. And he's like, man, I don't know if I could do it.
Oh, it stinks.
He's like,
it's nasty.
It's when you pop that lid and you hear the hiss, because you hear the hiss about half a second before it hits your nose.
Oh yeah, because that corn gets nasty, and then it's the alcohol in the malt liquor starts reacting with the sugars in the corn and the sugars from the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you're making
or the
pig
Jello,
moonshine.
and
Yep.
it's pretty much pig shine. I mean, it smells very. I mean, it ferments.
Man, it makes me
sounds
want to
like
gag just thinking
Yeah,
about
and
it.
if it's not a smell you've never experienced, you should try it.
It makes my eyes
Because
water just thinking about it. That stuff is
Only do it
bad.
once. Only do it once.
So right now,
It also makes pretty dang good catfish bait if you just drill a bunch of holes in another bucket and set it in it, let it just kind of.
Nice.
the next few months it'll be tricky because there's so much for everything neat now. So now the creative baits are coming into play. You know, you hear mixtures about diesel and motor oil, and that's a mixture that I haven't mastered because I know that too much of it one way or the other could really throw what's going on. Then you read up on it, and they're supposed to roll around in the diesel. I'm not sure if they're supposed to roll in the diesel or eat the diesel or what, but it's so expensive. I don't mess with the diesel.
So I used to work with a fella that he had a contract down somewhere in Montgomery County. He was trapping for the city. He was in the green belts and the right of ways, and that's kind of what his little side hustle was. And his solution, because he's like, we tried everything, you know, all the products on the market, the homemade stuff. He goes, when we start getting really, really trap-wise hogs, which worked best for him, he goes, I'll just drive around. I hit up every donut shop, bakery, grocery store. If you've got something spoiled, old, or thrown away, he goes, I go to Shipley's
He just made pig slop.
and just throw a bunch of donuts in there, or raisin bread, or, you know, lettuce, or whatever it was. Something that's not what everybody else uses. Because you think corn and all these little pig sauces and stuff like that. He goes, you'll be surprised how many times trap warrior hogs were like, oh, crap, this is good stuff. Like that.
So I emptied the fridge.
Yeah.
You know, when that stuff that needs to get gone, I can tell you they don't like cabbage. They've never eaten my cabbage.
Really?
Yep, they've never touched cabbage. It literally sat in the trap and rotted. But apples, they would wear the apples out.
I think they
I
ate
see
the
that.
squash too. They ate squash, apples, something else that they ate. But
So you're saying if you want to have a garden that pigs don't mess with, plant cabbage.
Cabbage. There you go. That's the trick.
That's what I've noticed. But so once upon a time, you ran the old square traps, the single gate, the
Yep.
figure sixes.
That I'll say this: that is a lot better deer trap than it was ever a pig trap for me.
Or calves. Yeah.
Calves, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I know you were doing.
He's like, oh, yeah.
And then if you've never seen a deer in a trap, it's an unfortunate thing, especially with a smaller trap, because
They're going to kill themselves.
Yeah.
they get really rough and violent and panicky. They're just not, it's rough on them. But the string wire and all of that, the little ones run in and you always catch little hogs. And the big ones, they're not going to go in a confined area. I mean, we load hogs into a 16-foot cattle trailer, and sometimes it's rough getting them to go in there, and they won't out. So haven't messed with a little trap like that since teenage years, 30 years ago. But the cell traps, that's the future. That's just the future. And when you got an IT guy,
Hey.
yeah,
just give him the number of the phone or the thing and walk away, and it works.
So how tall are these traps?
they're 6 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was going to ask because back when we were talking about trapping down in Montgomery County, I'd go and help him out from time to time. And how tall is a regular cattle panel? 4 foot?
4 or 5.
Okay.
So we
That-
have 5
5
foot
foot.
of cattle panel, and then the top is just a hole.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, if they can jump over 5 foot and fit themselves in the hole, they deserve to
Well,
go.
he would take his and wire them together, and they have about another. See, he told you he was gonna hit it. About another 2 foot or so that he'd always leave pronged, because he'd have he swears he's had it happen before, and he had pictures of it, of the real big boars, like the big ones, would figure out how to climb out and just escape.
So you were talking about tricks. I'll give you a trick. So, like I said, 6x8 panels. The panel's 5 foot tall. It's got a 1 foot hole at the top. It's left like that for reason one. It's hauling. You can hang it on hangers. It's easy to mount stuff to it. You can reach through it instead of having to, if you get in a bind with a hog, instead of having to crawl over it. A lot of people don't think about it, but they're made out of square tubing. So during that tournament, that big hog that we actually won with, he caught him down in Lee County, and when we pulled up to pick him up at like 3:30 in the morning or whatever time it was, he had jumped up to that 5 foot panel, and he literally had his front legs hanging there. But he was just so heavy. I mean, like his head was straight up. He was just shaking. Like, I just wish I wasn't this big and I could get out of here. Right?
He was trying to climb.
So,
he was
but that top rail, this will eliminate him jumping out unless it just literally jumps like a freaking deer. And just go get like that 3 or 4 inch drain pipe and cut it to length and lay it across the top, and then they can't grip it because whenever they try to get their legs on it,
It spins. I did the same thing for coons on a feeder legs. Squirrels.
And it works great with hogs.
Oh, okay.
To date, only had one of them come out of there, and it was just a fluke because he went back in there 3 days later and we ended up catching him. Other than that,
So he wasn't that smart.
No,
he wasn't. Yeah, definitely not that smart. But he had one dagger on one side, and he was rough on equipment.
Talk about smart big pigs. So what is the biggest pig y'all gotten?
in a trap. That 310-pound one
Yeah.
that we won the tournament with. That's
Awesome.
the biggest one.
That's because when y'all brought that in, so we get so many people in that haven't hunted a lot of pigs, and they'll roll in with a 200-pound pig, but they'll call when they're on the way, and they're like, "I got the winner. I got a 400-pound hog," and they pull in, and you're like, yeah, and you weigh it. Oh, your scale's wrong. No scale's right. And then somebody like y'all pulls in, and you'd be like, That's a 300+ pound pig. Like their whole body shape's different, everything about it. So y'all saw him on camera that night when you got him, and it was time to go. Like,
oh yeah,
you knew.
Just drop what you're doing.
I
got to go.
I actually screen recorded the camera, and he was banging off everything in that trap.
I bet he was mad.
And we got up and went over there immediately. I mean, pistols on the hip. Who knew what was going to happen?
Yeah, it wasn't that big. Yeah.
That is the only trap, because at the time we were running 7 traps, and we only hunted one night. And I don't care who you are, pulling 140 hogs in 12 hours is rough.
Yeah.
A lot of damn pigs.
My God.
But there was multiple sounders. So as soon as we caught them, we had to go get them. So we ended up dropping some traps multiple times same night. Well, we couldn't kill hogs in it. That's another big deal. If you kill a hog in a trap, it's usually it takes a minute before the other ones will come back. So every herd that we caught, we'd go run out there with a truck and trailer, unload them, drag them out, reset the trap, and a couple hours later, the next sounder would come through. So, I mean, there was...
Oh, so y'all had to double work. Y'all were killing there. Wow.
That's right. So, because we wanted to catch the second sounder.
Yeah.
And I told him in the beginning, and I told y'all, we're going to make some people mad this year because we're going to show up with a lot of hogs. Some people were upset, whatever, but it was legal means.
They're
right?
always going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And that hog there, that big one in question, that was the only one we killed in a trap because
Yeah.
just didn't want to.
Don't risk it.
You're not getting him out.
And we actually...
A good way to get hurt, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an interesting thing. So he weighed 318, less than 10 hours before. So leakage.
Yeah. We talked.
there is a leakage thing.
We've had that. We had somebody who would have been first place. What was it? 3-4 years ago. They called. They were coming from Jordanton, and I said, "Are you bringing it this evening?" They're like, "No, we're gonna wait all night." And I was like, "Man,
That's the wrong
plug
call.
it up." If it's like if run to the gas station, get some tampons, put them in bullet holes, do whatever you can, shove something up its rear, close this. Like it's gonna leak. You're gonna lose a lot of weight. And then they pulled in here and they'd lost like 15 pounds. Yeah. And they're like, he said, "Man, I thought you were joking."
No.
And I was like, "No, I'm not joking. They lose a lot of freaking weight." So
Yeah, they do. They really do. And that was one of the benefits with that one being trapped. Because back to the 308 question, if we'd have blowed holes through him right across the pasture, he'd have lost more than that. I think that would put us in the not the winner bracket.
I got
But
you.
instead, he just had a single hole right between his eyes, and that was it. So everything he leaked was out of his head instead of big holes.
Well, I'm looking forward to this year when we have we're doing St. Patrick's Day. It's only gonna be a 1-day event.
Yep, we're changing it up.
I think it's going to be easier on everybody else. It's going to keep everybody fair, but it let y'all come out and party and enjoy the celebration that's about y'all that y'all don't get to be involved with every year. So I think this is going to make it a lot more fun. And dude, at the end of 48 hours, y'all got to be exhausted. Like,
got to go unload hogs first too.
oh yeah, you're done. He, you know, God, you know, blessed you and you were able to win. But for all those guys who drove all the way out here and they're dead tired, been hunting for 48 hours, don't get anything. You're like, okay, bye.
We actually went home and took a nap and came back for the party and got here at 6. And I'm like, where's the band? They rigged down already. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We came to party.
And we just went home and went to bed that Saturday night. We didn't even hunt.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of fun, why don't what's some of your best stories? Wildest stories, biggest pig, like which like.
You got one you chased for
give us a couple.
Great white buffalo or any of that?
Because a lot of folks are listening. I mean, believe it or not, we got people or folks listening from all around the world that don't really understand or know what goes on in pig hunting, but they're excited about it. They see the videos, you know, they watch the YouTubes.
We got them from Vietnam to Shaolin. They're from Australia. Everybody
That's
wear
not that. I don't know a globe, but Vietnam to Shaolin can't be that far.
China to Vietnam.
That's what I was
pretty
thinking.
good.
What's a Shaolin?
Pretty big gap right there, but. We could do. We do Massachusetts to Moscow. We could do something like that.
There you go. That makes more sense. I guess you go over the top. It's not that far.
Yeah, everywhere but Antarctica. Jake said he was going to pull that one through. He hadn't done it yet. We're still waiting.
Yeah, still waiting.
But yeah, if y'all got a good story, man, that everybody wants to hear. Like,
so as soon as you brought it up, one came to mind immediately.
That's the one then.
That's the one.
And it's not really like a really good. We didn't kill a lot of pigs. It was more like everybody fell. And
no, that's a good story.
Already best.
That's by far the best.
So the best stories are always where like something like messed up, or where you like snaked out one from underneath your buddy. Like, hey, we're gonna shoot on 3, and you shoot on 1,
or you almost die,
or you're looking across the room because someone doesn't know how to count to 3.
Somebody does, but he likes shooting on 2.
So I'm gonna give a build up before because I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, paint that picture.
So night vision. Only hunted this place 2 times prior to. River bottom, a lot of washouts, a lot of near misses. You know, you're just driving with the night vision. We're loaded down in the side by side.
Yeah, the buggy.
Our old side by side. There was 3 of us, and came within an inch of running off in a ravine. Finally spotted some hogs on the opposite side of the creek, so we parked by a deer feeder and go.
So we got out. Only me and our buddy, his name was Forrest. We're toting the guns. He's just looking night vision, walking. And we're going down this creek bottom. We're going into the creek. And I slip, and I fall, and I eat it. And I fall, and I slide all the way down. He's trying not to, like, be loud from laughing. And then Forrest comes behind me on the way back up. I'm walking up, and Forrest trips. And the way his gun was on a sling across his chest, when he fell, the suppressor went into the mud and he shoved his stock right into the room. And he just let, and
it's always dead quiet when this happens, too.
Oh, yeah. And the pig's probably 80 yards away. Yeah. And so we're all laughing. He shines a flashlight. Suppressor has about that much mud in it. And then he runs back to the bug, grabs the cleaning kit, and then we're just sitting there. He's just rubbing his throat, trying not to cough. And, one over there, I think, shot 2 pigs.
You got some.
About 6.
Back to dumb pigs.
That's right. They went and shot some pigs. And when I first went through that crossing, I said, it's slick. Be careful, guys. It's slick. You know, you're whispering. Because we're all like ninjas in the dark.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And get through there, I'm dying laughing. Always have an emergency kit because you never know what you're going to get into.
True.
And he was just going to run it anyway and blow it out. I'm like, that's not a good idea.
Don't do that.
So we got it.
I can see him in the middle of the night with that spreader.
That's right. Shot hogs. I'll go get the side by side because we don't leave hogs laying in the middle of pastures, tractors, equipment.
Yep.
So I'll run over there and I'll be a son of a gun if I didn't turn a complete backflip when I went through that thing the 3rd time. Except I caught the raw end of the deal. I was muddy on my front. I don't know what exactly happened, but I had it all from my chest to my ankles, from the back of my neck to the back of my ankles.
After the hogs, you just hear them start walking, and you hear them get to the creek crossing, and you hear them start laughing, thinking about it, and then immediately just fell.
So was
It
that
made
the
me feel so much
end of the
better.
hunt for the night?
Oh no,
No,
that was just a start.
That's just getting you warmed
yeah.
up. Now you're mad at them.
Yeah. Now you got to prove a point.
That's right. Now it's 8:45. But no, the most memorable one, the hunts for me is, like I said, I very seldom even run a gun anymore. I just kind of go and enjoy it. People that have never been, like his nephew, he's had a lot of firsts, or my nephew, his cousin, has had a lot of firsts with me, whether it's killing deer, hogs, thermals. And for me, that's a big thing, because sometimes I take things for granted just because it's easy for me to go do it. But it's the experiences that other people may never have again.
Yeah, and look, watching
y'all-
it through their eyes.
Y'all
kind of
guide
just-
as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
You ever have the times that any funny stories with that? Someone just like get up close and pick charge, any panic or anything?
Chris, it was our cousin who bought that pulsar. We're on the buggy, and he was having a good night, and we're driving, and I'm like, hey, there's a hog up there, and it was probably 400 yards away. So we have to start going, and I was walking the binoculars. I didn't bring a gun, and he's like, "Damn, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?" He was like, "This thing is close. It's close." I'm like, "No, Chris, it's like 3 yards away." He's like, "I can see it. It's taking up my scope," and he's just yelling, like getting mad at me, and I was like, "Give me your scope." I'm like, "You have it on Zoom 15." and then I zoomed out. He goes, "Oh, that is far." And then we walk over there, and that pulsar recorded everything.
That AGM.
Oh,
Yeah.
AGM. And he shot it, and you can just hear him just laugh like a little 12-year-old girl.
Yeah,
He's just
oh,
like
man.
so happy.
And then you hear this echo through the night. Boom, shakalaka.
Yeah.
But he's he's fun.
We've had it a long time ago. Jake and I occasionally we take, we guide somebody out, and
This is
not gonna mention the name,
nope.
but we took a NFL player out,
Oh yeah.
and he kept locking up,
Yeah.
and like we get him closer and closer on pigs, and I think the final one we had him on a tripod, wind in her face, pig was standing still at 20 yards, and he just couldn't do it. And he stopped, and you think NFL, he's got linebackers running at him all the time and everything else. Nope. That pig just vapor locked him.
Because
And-
what happened? It started running at him.
Yeah.
And it just
Oh,
that
he
was
was
it.
scared.
Yeah,
He thought he was going to
he
die.
got spooked, and he thought he was going to die. And after that, he was shaking the rest of the night. But like you said, I love taking people out and watching their, that thrill they get. It's that first time experience.
The adrenaline.
Yeah, because we'll never get that high again. But watching them get it puts you right about there. It's awesome. Now, y'all, a lot of these pigs y'all trap, we haven't talked about it. Y'all got to move them from a trap to wherever you're taking them. So y'all take them to get processed, or
Do anything from sell them to donate them
Yep.
to people that try to hit me up on Facebook whenever I make posts, and they're like, "I'll take some from me," and I'm like, "All right, well, come grab some," and it's just everything. Sometimes I'll drag them out of the trap, kill them, and then just drag them to the edge of the woods. So
Yeah.
I want to deal with them that day.
Yeah.
But I do everything with them.
that's getting them out of that trap is a little hairy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody,
There's some stories there too,
yeah,
man,
I
I'll
bet.
tell you what.
I bet you ever got eaten up by a pig in a trap.
He actually got his finger bit the other day by one, and I had that happen to me as well. But I mean, he just nicked it. But
I
sometimes,
had a sow bite my calf. I thought she bit it off. They bite so much harder than you think they would.
and with those little ones that are under 20 pounds, they're too small to jump up, or they can't see it because they always have their head down. And I'm always the one that has to get in there and have to catch all of them. And at one time, I think I had to catch like 18 or 20 of them, and it came to the point where it's like, yeah, I ain't running around. I'll just either grab a rope or I'll just step on their leg and just bump them up and get something and grab them. But after that, you're like,
I bet it'd be a
"Whoa."
good time watching you because you're no small guy trying to run around chase a bunch of 15,
Oh, he
20
thinks
pound
it's
shoals.
awesome. Yeah, he thinks it's
It
awesome.
is
But I
awesome.
worked the gate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I worked the
I
gate.
mean, somebody's got to, right?
I made a mistake once. I came up on a trap, and it had about 12. Man, I'm surprised they were still running together, but they were all about 25, 30 pounds. And one of them was white. And I could tell it's a little boar pig. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to cut him. And I was like, they're little pigs. I'm just going to hop in there, and I'll grab him. And I hopped in there, and all of a sudden, these pigs that were scared of me weren't scared of me anymore.
Yeah.
They turned into piranhas.
They'll run by. There's like somewhere I've had to get like a 30 or 40 pounder out, and they'll run right in between your legs and bite your shins
Oh, yeah.
on the way
Yeah,
out.
they're mad.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
So you said something interesting.
That's never been his case.
Well, it just made me think about something. So we're kind of at the point now we'd like to try to see how close we get to them. If it's just
Absolutely.
That's where we're at, too.
If it's just
and we do the same thing.
And
I'm gonna be close enough I can hear him chomp.
that's right. When you're there, you know it's going to be a good run.
Well, we miss less too.
But other than that, I mean, it kind of feel people out when they show up. When you're like, well, these are the people we don't want to get closer than 75 yards, or these are the people we don't want to get closer than 50 yards. But we try to get a stalk within 50, 75 yards, just because it's a better experience. Because you've only got a few seconds, and then depending on who's running or backgrounds or homes, cattle, whatever, it's just a few shots. But there's those special times when there's nothing except pigs. And then there's even more special times when they just scatter like flies. And they run at you, around you, by you, circle around you and come back by. And those are just the experiences that you're just, between, of course we run cans, but between suppressors and the recoil and the reverberance of the echo coming back.
It's just chaos.
Sometimes it throws them into a complete tailspin, and it's like shaking up a bag of wasps and just watching them go nuts. And those times are good, and you've really got to be on your game. So that's one reason we kind of keep people at a further distance instead of just somebody that's been in the mix before, as they say, because
they start saying it's coming for us, it's coming for us, it's right around to me.
That's right. Because you're like, he's coming, somebody gonna get him. But at the same time, you know, everybody's kind of paying attention to each other too.
The liability thing, don't swing too close to the other
Oh,
person.
yeah, that's a
whole
big-
deal.
And that's one of those things that's out there is that, you know, we've got so many folks moving in from out of state that have bought property or, you know, they're here and they're trying to get into pig hunting, and they're like, oh, we hear the stories. They'll eat you alive. I need a 375 H&H. I need some big cannon. And we're like, 5.56 will do it. They're like, but have you seen them? They're gigantic.
Well, it's funny. I think every Californian that's moved here within the last year has been charged by a pig. They all come in here, I got to get a gun. I said, on my property, and a pig charged me. I was like, really?
That was weird. Y'all both say that at the same time.
How'd that happen?
I've been hunting these things for a long, long time. And I just wish
I worked
one would
really
charge
hard
me.
to get one to charge me.
Yeah, when we first started, he used to never wear shoes, or he would wear these freaking slip-on shoes.
Yeah, slip-on.
What I'm
And it
talking
was
about.
always muddy. And by the time you get over there, it'd be like, go grab the buggy. Well, I got thorns in my feet. Well, what about your shoes?
yeah.
Well, so there is literally shoes scattered in mud holes all over Walker County, because by the end of the night, he's coming back barefooted or in a sock.
Yeah.
And everything else is in the woods somewhere. So it's good time, good fun.
The new members of the Deer League started naming the pastures after the color shoes I lost.
Nice.
See, we had a deal for a
Nice.
while we take good friends of ours, we'd go take them out hunting. If it's your first time and your first pig kill, you'd have to take a picture of you with it in your underwear. So we have a whole slew of like these glamour poses of dudes in their underwear with dead pigs. It's actually
so
pretty damn
awesome.
funny.
If the FBI ever raids our homes, they're going to find a stash of photos. They're going to be like, what was this guy into? Like, this is next
so awesome.
level.
This is a level of depravity we've never seen.
You can't tell them until after you shot it either, though.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we
Oh,
don't.
no.
You know,
That's good.
And then they're like, you know, it's always, nuh-uh. I'm like, oh, yeah. Because there's always another couple of people like, well, we did it too. And they're like, okay. And it got to the point that it got to be known. So
People were wearing. Yeah.
they'd go buy special underwear for the event.
That is so awesome.
Pink flamingo underwear.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
American flag. It'd be sparkly.
Yeah, they were cheating.
Oh, yeah.
So many ideas are going through my head.
Yeah. You ain't having fun with it. You're not trying.
All right, guys. So
How do we get a hold of you?
how do we get a hold of you?
So,
I want to go hug
like,
you.
what
you've
do
been
y'all have
fun. I want to go
show-
hog hunt with you.
Or that, and or like what do y'all offer for folks if they have a problem, they want to go on? Just
So I have a Facebook and Instagram. The Facebook is just DRT Outdoors. The Instagram is a little more complicated. It's _DRT Outdoors because everything was taken. And nobody wants to post on it anymore. But offer the guided thermal hunts. It can be pigs or coyotes. Later in the year, going to do dove hunts. Partnered with Boogie. He's moving to South Dakota, and he's doing geese, ducks, and pheasants up there. So there's a whole wide range.
Yeah, he's
a
actually
lot
going to be our
of
next
animals.
guest. So
Oh, is he?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he'll be able to talk all about that.
So there's a wide range of variations of what there is to hunt. Lodging, I mean, guns, ammo, thermals. Lodging can even be set up if somebody comes 2 hours away, an hour away, doesn't want to drive home because it's late. They can stay over. but the main way to find us is on Facebook.
And then what about your the trapping services? How is it kind of specific as it goes, or do y'all have kind of like a?
I usually somebody just calls me and they say I need a trap, and sometimes it's just like free range, go find where they're coming from and put it out. Or I usually meet the landowner and they're like, well, this is where I've seen them. And
y'all do everything from, like you said, 5 acres in a subdivision to 2,000 acres.
Yes, sir. Anything. If there's hogs in, you need a trap.
Do you have an email or a phone number that you'd like
Yes,
to throw out there? Or?
Yeah, so phone number is 936-581-4550. Just text or call if you want to go on a hunt or need a trap or anything.
Or it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're lonely. Give them a call.
Yeah, you know they're just sitting there watching
probably
pig
won't
traps.
answer. Nothing.
I probably won't answer, truth be told.
Because he's watching it on his phone. He's busy.
I'm actually kind of worried what our fan base is going to start texting about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I hope they do.
Now you just gave me an idea.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's okay. It's not my phone.
There you go.
You hunting?
But I think this day and age, the way society and people are, I think it's good, clean fun for the money. It's a good time. And I've always said that you don't want to hunt your kids, take your kids hunting.
Yeah.
I've lived my life by that. So
Absolutely. And everybody who knows us knows we have a soft spot for the kiddos and taking them out. And the kids know it too, because they'll come in here and like, I really like that gun, but this is all the money I got. And I'm like, oh, you little turd. Working us over.
made a note. Bring Lou.
No. Oh man, I've got worked over so many times that but it's worth it to see. The kids. We've talked about this before. It's ridiculous that the way the shooting sports and hunting is being taken away from them. Mm-hmm. You can't even go online right now and look at a website that has firearms on it without saying that you're 18 years old first. They're making it to where you can't go buy a gun magazine.
They're demonizing it.
Dude, when I was a kid, like Sportsman's Guide or they put out that catalog every year of all the new guns that were introduced.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Well, heck, they even took away the outdoor annual.
Did they?
Yeah, you can't get a paper copy. It's all digital now.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
It's wild, man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you are.
So-
I thought it was coming back though.
It might be.
I think it came back for 1 year, because a lot of people, but I think it's going. All the states are going digital. But I mean, that was my bathroom material, man. As a kid,
too.
I just sit there and I'd memorize it. I don't want to break a law. I got to get it all. I mean, or I want to know when I am breaking a law, like how to get away with it. So, well, guys, thank y'all so much though for being on this podcast. This was fun. We're gonna have to do it again, man.
And we'll definitely have to take y'all hunting one night for sure.
Yeah, we'll all come back in here and talk about it, and I'm sure we'll have some stories.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're about to talk about this dove hunting thing in a second. I
I did hear you say dove hunt too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Or all the woodies you want to kill, because there's so many. Can't find any mallards or teal. But if you want a wood duck,
man,
let me know.
Be careful talking to Dustin. He killed his first woody this year, and he was so excited. I think he went and got it mounted.
The one morning, 4 of us went, only 2 of us shot. Was it 2 of us shot?
No, be careful what you say. No, we all shot.
See that?
We all limited out.
Yeah.
Is what he was going to say.
including the 3 guys in the truck, the 4 guys
Two
down
shot to begin with, and they killed their 6 in about 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the next 2 guys killed theirs in about 2 minutes, and then we all went and got in a couple deer stands. I mean, it was done before the sun was even up.
That's awesome.
Can't be mad at that.
Not
Fully
at all.
up.
Fully up.
Fully up. Yeah, it was.
You got 30
can
minutes
shoot
before.
30
You
minutes
got 30
before.
minutes?
Yeah, you got 30 minutes for sunrise.
Yeah.
There's game wardens out there just laughing at that. They're like, yeah, these guys.
Don't rewind back to the part about the phone.
Oh, dude, if y'all haven't heard our 22 episode, believe me, you're safe.
Oh, yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, we
Oh, man. Thank y'all so much for being on the show, man. We're going to do it again. And, guys, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening, being a part of it.
remember to like, share, subscribe.
Tell your mom and them.
Tell your mom and them, and then go over to DRT's pages. Give them the same.
Yeah.
Because if nothing else, it'll break up all the bull crap on your normal feed and get something fun to watch.
And these guys are the real deal. So you know that you got that coming from us. They won St. Patrick's Day. They're elite, so they're some of the best. So you know you're going out with guys who know what they're doing, and they got the numbers to back it up.
And if you're going to spend your money to book a hunt, whether it's bachelor party, group of friends, you just want to get out there, maybe learn a little more.
Get naked with a pig, yeah.
Get naked with the pig, whatever it is. Got to keep in mind, in 48 hours, these guys turn in 142 pigs.
And they only hunted one night.
Yep. So if you want to get on some pigs and you want to have a good time, these are the guys we're going to push you to.
Absolutely. If you have any more questions about them or didn't catch on how to get in contact with them, you can always call up here at the store. We'll help get you in contact with them. It's a great group of guys. They're in here quite often, and
Too much.
we try to sell them a lot of stuff.
It's been here like 4
We
times
we
in the
like
last 3
it.
days.
Every one of those pigs cost at least 1 bullet, so they got to come get it and replenish their supply.
There you go. Guys, y'all have a great one.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors podcast with your hosts Jake Coffin and Jason Westmoreland. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. New episodes drop every Monday, and catch up in between episodes on the Circle Star Minute every Friday. For more information, visit CircleStarFirearms.com, or better yet, come see our great new store at 6320 Highway 90 in Anderson, Texas. Until next time, safe shooting, folks.